Hey guys, we want to welcome you to the Anatomy Lab. We're glad that you're here.
So this is the first video in our three-part series where we're going to be talking about lab administration, lab safety, and study techniques.
So let's get started.
Over the course of the anatomy class, you're going to have two different types of lab. The first one, the didactic lab, is your teaching lab. So that's the one that you signed up for your time when you registered for the class, where you'll come in and your TAs will go through the material for the week. The other type of lab is called open lab, and that's going to be your study lab, where you can come in and study off the real specimens that we have here.
There are two didactic labs, but both have the same setup. As you enter, you'll put your backpacks in the cubbies to your right. Make sure that you stow everything safely in these cubbies, especially your cell phones. Cell phones are never permitted in the labs. Next, you'll grab a lab coat that is conveniently hanging by the door. Once everyone has their lab coats on, you'll be handed out quiz papers, and then you'll start with a prayer. After the prayer, you'll have 10 minutes to complete your quiz. On your quiz paper, you'll notice that some of the questions have a Part A and a Part B section. The Part B questions are lecture integration. Make sure that you are on time to your lab so that you can get the points for taking your quiz.
If you have to miss class and it's because of a university excused absence, then you can email byuanatomylab@gmail.com. This will allow you to get a lab transfer slip so that you can change your lab time to a different lab during that week. But if it is not a university excused absence, then you're just going to have to take the point loss from your quiz. There are no makeups, but you do get one dropped quiz over the course of the semester. Upon entering the anatomy lab, many students find themselves asking important questions like, should I be bringing gloves to class with me? Remember how we talked about two different types of labs? Well, for in the open lab, we always need gloves anytime we're studying off the real specimens. And during didactic labs, gloves are not required, but they're great to have so that you can touch and study off of the specimens. During the first 2 weeks, we're going to be going over bones, so we don't need gloves during that time, but later on, you should be bringing them to every class. The second type of lab that you're going to go to is open lab. This is where you're going to come to study so that you can ace all of your quizzes throughout the semester. There are two ways to sign up for open lab. The first way is to get online on your Learning Suite program and go in and reserve a time slot for the anatomy lab, for the open lab. Let's make sure that you're going to have the time that you want. During the class, you're going to have 4 hours a week during which you can sign up for open lab classes. The week goes from Saturday to Friday. So every Saturday to Friday, you have 4 hours that you can reserve for open lab study. The second way that you can come into open lab is to just show up and sit in the standby line. And in the standby line, we let students in 5 minutes after the hour, and we let them in until the lab is filled up. If it's filled and there's still people in the standby line, I'm sorry, you're just going to have to come again. But that's what the reservations are for, so make sure that you can get in when you want to. When you come to open lab, it's got the same setup as in the didactic labs. Your backpacks go into the cubbies on your right. Then you're going to come up and you're going to choose from our lovely, stylish selection of lab coats, as modeled by my friend here. He's also prepared with his gloves, as you can see. When we come to open lab, you always need gloves if you're going to be studying off of any types of specimen. Even if you just plan on looking and not touching anything, you still need 2 gloves, 1 on each hand. When you are studying, though, and you want to switch between a specimen and your models, you want to have gloves on both hands, if I can do it, for those specimens, but make sure you take them off when you're going to switch back to one of the models. We don't want to have any transfer happening between the two. We want to keep our models and bones nice and clean. Make sure while you're studying open lab that you take care of whatever you're studying off of. That means for specimens, don't forget to spray at least every 5 minutes. At the end of open lab, make sure you put everything away. Specimens have their boxes. When you put away the bones, make sure you put them in the correct bins. They should all be carefully labeled with pictures of the different types of bones so that you get the right ones in the right box. Another important thing to remember for open lab is you want to not chew any gum in lab, eat any food, have any drinks. All of that is left out in the hall. Your cell phone too needs to be left over in your cubby with your backpack. Don't bring any cell phones into the lab with you. Turn them off, put them on silent, something, but also keep them with your backpack. One last thing, when you come to open lab, you need to be on time. Because if you are after that 5-minute mark after the hour, so say you signed up for the 11 to 12 slot for open lab, be there at 11 o'clock or 5 minutes beforehand, because 5 minutes after the hour, we're going to start letting standby people in and you're going to lose your spot. At 10 minutes after the hour, we lock the door and you can't come in at all. So be on time. And we're so excited to have you in the lab and studying with us. It's going to be great. Didactic lab, open lab, whatever you're doing, we'd love to have you there. So use your TAs, ask us questions, we love it. And we're excited to see you.